Wednesday night racing returns to Hong Kong, and we are at Happy Valley for a 9-race card. This is Racing to Win, your twice weekly Hong Kong racing preview show. I'm Tom Wood, and I'm joined in the studio by Paul Lally and Nick Child. And Nick, what are some of the highlights we can look forward to on Wednesday night?
Yeah, plenty of the usual, really, Tom, when it comes to racing around Happy Valley on a Wednesday night. There's a horse running in the last, incidentally, and we'll preview that race, that David Hayes trains. Storm Rider was mightily impressive last time. I thought he was certainly one to keep an eye on.
Okay, yeah, jackpots, Paul. There's a few first starters as well. Triple Trio's been hard to get recently, but someone got the 6 up at the weekend.
Yeah, 10 million, that's what that paid. So if you got a share or all of that, well done to you. I'm sure you have another crack on Wednesday night. Now, there's just the one jackpot. That's the 3.8 million going into the Triple Trio. So that should be over the 10 million mark as well. So a lot of money floating around here towards the end of the season.
There certainly is, and this is the third last meeting of the Happy Valley season. We're not at Happy Valley next week with July 1, a public holiday, Sha Tin Racing, but this and 2 others to go at Happy Valley. It's meeting number 82. We're on the C course, and we are previewing races 8 and 9. The trophy event is the St George's Challenge Cup race number 5. Let's have a look at the field for the Renfruit Handicap, and this is Class 3, 1650. Sky Trust at the top. He's been consistent, but he's drawn barrier 11. Emeritus Spexo, now a 2-time course and distance winner. Aestheticism drawn 7. Outgate hasn't won for a wee while. Hammer on unlucky last start. Romantic Lau, Harmony Galaxy, a winner 2 and 3 runs ago, but at 1,800 metres. Stella Swift with a low draw. Oceana's dropped £43 for his second start. Kalachi with the tongue tie on. Sturdy Ruby, cheek pieces off, blinkers on, and another Zonda very close to a class drop at the bottom, drawn barrier number 5. The speed here, Paul, good to slow the prediction maybe.
Yeah, look, Outgate hasn't been getting to the front because he's been another leader in all his recent races, but there's no leader in this race. So I think he's finally going to get his opportunity, Outgate. He's a well-rated horse now. Stella Swift, another one that's drawn low. Sturdy Ruby's drawn the inside, so he's going to get a good run. Oceana can be a little bit handier up in trip. Another Zonda is getting down towards a downgrade. Then Romantic Lau, Harmony Galaxy, Hammer on, Aestheticism. Sky Trust is the little query I had. What do they do with him from a wide draw? Do they go forward or back? They did go back last start.
Aestheticism was a 1650 course and distance winner going back 3 runs ago, and Nick was down at the track bright and early Tuesday morning to speak to his trainer, Pierre Ung.
Pierre Ung, race 8, you're going to saddle Aestheticism. He's becoming a bit of a regular around Happy Valley and looks to be holding his form quite nicely.
Yes, he's been running very consistent, and last time Andre rode him first time and he's finished 3rd, and hopefully this time we can get better results.
He's £7 higher than his last win, which was around here, course and distance, Pierre. I mean, how much more is there to come? I mean, I guess when you're sort of that bit higher than his last win, it makes it a bit trickier, but that run last time suggested he could go close again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind on the rating or the weight. He's been doing very well in Happy Valley as well. So he just needs the right one, right pacing, and he'll finish off very good.
I mean, you can tell me a bit more being his trainer, but I mean, on paper, it looks like you found a nice race for him. I mean, the 1 or 2 in here, perhaps with questions to answer, but your horse at least comes into the race in really good nick, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He runs his race very well every time. He wouldn't lose by far. And so hopefully he's the front. As you know, he sometimes he just runs his race, but he's not good enough to win.
And nice to have Andrea on. I mean, you and he have had a pretty fruitful campaign this season. 11 wins, I think it is, from nearly 90 rides together. I mean, I imagine that's a combination we'll see a bit more of going into next season as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. He rides a lightweight, which is more advantage for us as well. So hopefully we're looking for a better season next season.
What's your assessment of your season, Pierre? I mean, you're 1 away from 40. How have you sort of assessed this season as far as it's gone?
This season has been a little bit quiet for us. Obviously, last season was great, brilliant, and we're just waiting for the horses to change over and bring up the strength next season.
Pierre Ung on Aestheticism. Of course, he went so close to winning the championship last season, did Pierre, with one of his former mentors knocking him off late in the form of Francis Lloyd. Fair to say, Paul, he started the season with a hiss and a roar, but the numbers for Pierre in terms of winners have really dropped off a cliff dramatically.
Yeah, look, and I think it's because of that early success, because the horses got up in the ratings and as such, and as such, they sort of found their mark, and that's why I think he struggled a little bit. He needs these new horses to come through to push him through, and I'm sure he'll get that coming into next season.
Yeah, well, as you can see from second down to Pierre, there's only 15 winners, the spread completely, so it's been competitive this year.
Yeah, very competitive amongst the Trainers' Championship. John Size still leading the way over David Hayes, who's still throwing plenty of arrows at that Trainers' Championship. We'll move on and have a look at Sky Trust. Maybe a query where he sits in the speed map here. Nick, coming through this race with Romantic Lau and Harmony Galaxy. He's been there or thereabouts, but the top two in this race were well clear on the rest of the field. He was best of the rest.
He was, yeah, no, for sure. This was the race won by a reinvigorated Keithy. Look, he's only had 3 runs here. He's, like I say, he's run with credit in all 3 of his runs without really threatening, I feel. He's run 2 back behind Embraces, certainly not too bad at all, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he started the season at a 56 rating. He's won a couple. They were early in the season. He had a crack at the 4-year-old series, which didn't really work. And he's been consistent, but he's now up to this rating. We got up to a rating of 79 peak. He's now down to 74.
Okay, that's the verdict there on Sky Trust. Moving on to the next replay, and we're looking here at Stella Swift, who's drawn nicely for this week's assignment in Barrier 2. He drew gate 11 last time out, was beaten by Definitive. Americus Spexo here, Paul, was still running on at the end from back in the field. I don't think he's out of this.
No, look, he's another one that's had a really good season. I mean, he started the season at 69. He sort of went down the ratings. He's up to 73 with those 2 wins in a row. And he just needs pace on because he gets back and he runs on strongly, and that's what he needs.
Yeah, look, it's going to be tougher for him up in the weights. And as for Stella Swift, well, 0 from 15, the grade. He's a place chance, but I can't have him better than that, sadly.
Sturdy Ruby, they're tinkering it with the gear this week. The cheek pieces have been dispensed of and the blinkers are going on. It's only a 2-time winner, Nick, from his 26 starts. How do you feel about him with the blinkers? Because he did race a bit keen last start, I thought.
He did, yeah. Look, and I think, the general feel sometimes that blinkers will sort of rev a horse up, but they can have the reverse effect in some cases, and it can just sort of pacify them, if you will, and help them just relax a bit. So they might well have that effect on him, and if they do, then it will aid him. He's drawn well, he's got his conditions. I wouldn't put you off him.
No, I included him, especially from Barrier 1, because he should get a cushy run back along the rail there.
Another Zonda. He is very close to a class drop, and he has shown in the past, Paul, that he's probably a better horse down in Class 4. He's up to 1650. Never won over 16 or 1600 metres in Australia. The best I think he did was a 5th.
Yeah, he's by the Autumn Sun, so you'd think it'd be okay for him, especially around this tight track. He's drawn barrier number 5, so he's another one who'll get his opportunity. As you say, I think he's better down a grade. I've got him in, but just on a very minor line.
Yeah, look, I think when he gets back to Class 4 racing, will probably suit him better there, Tom. And that's where I think he'd be better placed, actually.
Form was franked out of that race. Lopan Spirit,
quite,
of course, was
well,
in that,
exactly
was a winner at the weekend. We move on and have a look at Outgate now, and he is a horse that sat just behind the speed in this barrier trial up at Chungfar on the 13th of June. You thought here, Paul, that he could get an uncontested lead from 12?
I think he can. There's that big run to the first bend. We've seen him in races being taken on for the lead, can't get near the lead, being wide. And as such, he's dropped from an 85 last winning rating down to the 72 winning rating. He was 91 at the start of the season, hasn't won this season. He's down to 72. It'll be a big price. But it looks like he's in good form, and Tony Cruz's horses are going well at the moment.
They are indeed. Obviously claimed the final group race of the season. Very, very quiet season, 0 from 11, but as Paul alludes to, nearly a stone lower in the weights. Could give him his chance.
Quick comment, Harmony Galaxy winner 2 and 3 runs ago. Would you prefer him back at 18? They're trying 1650 again.
I would, Tom, yeah. Both his wins obviously have been achieved over a little bit further, though he draws well. But I think maybe the 18 is his best trip here.
Yeah, Class 4 as well, those 2 wins. So, look, yeah, over a lot longer trip with a really good bit of pace on, I think would suit him. I don't think there's going to be a lot of pace in this race.
Okay, you think that probably makes it a little bit of a trappy affair as well, Paul? Selections?
Yeah, look, it's a wide open, this race. It's a good race, obviously, towards the end of the card. I'm going to go with Outgate. We'll make him the value play of the meeting here. Just he's so well rated and he looks the leader. Stella Swift will get a good run in behind, but the grade's a question mark for him. Sturdy Ruby with the blinkers on, another Zonda with the lightweight and a good draw. 4, 8, 11, 12.
Yeah, I thought this was a tricky race, this one, actually. There were probably a few chances, but nothing of any real substance. So I thought Hammer On might be the way to go the race here. He's not too far removed from his last winning handicap mark. Conditions will suit him. Aestheticism in for second, is racing well. Sky Trust goes in, but he's got a decent weight. And Stella Swift, I think he's a place chance at best here. 5-3, 1-8.
Those are the boys' selections for race number 8. Race number 9 to be previewed next here on Racing to Win. But as we go to a break, don't forget your opportunity to vote for the most popular horse and jockey. Voting wraps up on July 4. Racing to Win continues for our Wednesday night card coming up at Happy Valley. Before we get into race number 9, it's time for the last run reminder. And who are we unveiling this week, Paul?
Well, my day, my way. Hopefully it's his day coming up. He's had 3 seconds from his 6 starts here in Hong Kong. He just can't draw a gate, this guy. 12, 11, 10 of his last 3. He's actually drawn 8 here, so he's coming a little bit. You can see him working really hard from the outside there, sort of 3 or 4 wide all the way coming, and they went pretty quick, so he wasn't coming off a slow pace. Then he just kept the run going, so he was in front here, but he was an absolute sitting duck. The only one that could get past him was Young Arrow, and look, he deserves a win, I think, this bloke, and he'll be quite short though, I think, but you know, he deserves to be favoured in the race, and this could be his go. So race 2, my day, my way. Hopefully it's his day.
Yes, let's hope it is. So he's race 2, horse number 5, of course, beaten by Young Arrow, who goes around in the 9th race, which we are about to preview here as the last event coming up at Happy Valley Wednesday night. Class 3 over the 1,200 metres for the Selker Handicap. Storm Rider bolted up last start. Even money favourite, delivered by 3.5 lengths. He's off a career high mark now. Happy Fat Cat's got the cheek pieces being reapplied. Mark Newham's done a great job with Power Cap. He's got 2 wins out of him from his last 4 starts. Charming Legend, tongue tie on for the first time. Kairos Dragon, Triumphant Moore has been back to the trials since a disappointing run last start. Dragon 4 Seas, he's won 3 of his last 4. Zach Purton aboard again. Surcharges placed in a recent trial. Eason coming off a run on the all-weather. Storming Dragon is £10 better off with the Storm Rider, Young Arrow and Everstar down at the bottom for Harry Bentley and Mi Choi. The pace here, Paul, and Happy Fat Cat, they jumped well with him last time out, but they handed up in the end.
Yeah, which was surprising, and he ran last. So I think they won't want to do that again. I think they're going to just try and go to the front and dictate, because that's how he races best. And he can jump really well, this horse. Early in the season he wasn't, but he has been jumping well. Dragon 4 Seas will get his chance once again. Triumphant Moore, Power Cap, both in good places. Storm Rider's got the big weight now, but he's got barrier number 1, so he's likely to be favourite. Everstar just finds himself 3 wide, doesn't matter where he draws. Surcharge, Storming Dragon, he might have to go back.
Yeah, I'll be fascinated to see if Happy Fat Cat does jump, because Antoine Hamlin has been the man to get him out of the stalls recently. New rider this week. But David Hayes, stable's flying along quite nicely at the moment, and Storm Rider last start absolutely bolted up. He spoke to Nick at the track Tuesday morning.
David Hayes, Storm Rider, runs in the last race, the Selker Handicap for you on Wednesday night. Now, David, he didn't just win last time, he absolutely vaulted up. That must have been quite pleasing.
Oh, it was great to watch. He'd had a string of really close seconds. Loves the Valley, and got it all together and won and got the 10 points. But I think he deserved it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, what did he win by in the end? 3.5 going away. You've always had a bit of a soft spot for this, or something. Every time I spoke to you about him, you've always sort of, you've liked him a lot.
Yes, he's got a pretty good record now. He's run in the first 3 most of his races. And I think next season we'll be able to stretch him out a little bit as well. I'd love to see him at a Valley Mile.
He's drawn gate number 1. Obviously, we know that's an ideal spot to be traditionally around the Valley, so he's got plenty of favours coming into this to try and back up.
Yeah, look, he should get. He's got tactical speed. He loves the Valley. I think his main dangers are up in the weights as well, so he's not giving a lot of weight to the horse, the hardest ones to beat. So I'd imagine he'd start close to favourite.
Yeah, I imagine he would do for sure. You've got Hugh Bowman going on as well.
Yes, Zach was committed, and this looked the ideal race for the horse. So I think he goes well for everyone. So from that barrier, I'd expect Hugh to give him the run of the race.
Just on that, actually, I wanted to ask you, obviously, you yourself are a Hall of Famer. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the youngest to be inducted. Zach, who has been riding this horse now into the Hall of Fame as well. Just a line on that, obviously, that must be a proud moment for him especially, but obviously for Australians in general.
Yeah, I think well deserved Zach getting it. Don't tell him I said that, but yeah, you really appreciate it more as time goes on. I was very young when I was inducted, and I thought it was wonderful, but I really do enjoy it now. And you're amongst some of your great peers, and it's a nice acknowledgement.
It certainly is. And talking of peers, actually, I wanted to ask you, obviously, is this title race done and dusted yet? You're 10 behind John's size. I'm guessing you're going to tell me it's not, but we are running out a little bit of time. Where do you sit on that?
Oh, 1,000,000 to 1. Yeah. I'll be happy to run second. We've had a great season. John's had just a bit better season. Probably a little bit more depth, but I think we're going to be very competitive next season again. So if I can hang on and run second, I'll be very happy.
Yes, he's certainly got some nice younger horses coming through. It does one David Hayes. Hugh Bowman's stats now. We had a look at the Trainers' Championship earlier on. Hugh Bowman sitting right up there in terms of second in terms of the jockeys. Here's his record nick at Happy Valley this season, which is pretty consistent across the board.
Yeah, look, he's mustered around any track, isn't he, Hugh? But he's very good around the valley. I think, given the sort of tactical nature of it, he's got a great racing brain, of course, as J.H. Bowman, and well, his rides he starts with So Awesome in the first Monarch County, comes up in the second. He's got a couple of witnesses there. I'm not sure how many more opportunities Galaxy is going to get though, Paul.
Yeah, he said that last time, so I'm interested to see your selections on this. Stella Swift, obviously, and Storm Rider will be favoured in the last. Amazing Gaze, he's a debutant.
He's been trialling okay.
Yeah.
Interested to see what he can do. Of course, he's trained by David Hayes' Amazing Gaze, so he's one of a few debutants lining up on Wednesday night. Let's have a look at a few of the replays here for this last event on the card, and we'll start with Dragon 4 Seas. Paul, he's had a great season, Dragon 4 Seas, particularly in the last couple of months, and through this replay you've got Power Kept. Everstar, you sticking with him?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'll give him one last chance because he hasn't had much luck in his last couple of runs. But Dragon 4 Seas is a big chance as well. He's just going so well at the moment. He's penalised, obviously, for this win. Everything's going well for him. And Power Kept was just right on the cusp for me. He's another one I wouldn't be surprised won because he's in career best form at the moment.
He is, yeah. I think Mark Nealon's done a wonderful job with him. And look, run that race again, you might get another result. There wasn't much between them. So I can see another big run from Power Kept. Yeah, I think he's a big player.
He's £4 better off, of course, with the winner there, Dragon 4 Seas, for that short beating last time out. Here's Everstar through another replay here, and just seems to have found a few wide passages recently, this horse, Nick, for Me Choi, Harry Bentley, closing it on 30 winners for the season.
Yes, absolutely, Harry. So he's had a decent enough season as Harry Bentley. Look, he's one win from 9 here in Hong Kong. That was over the course and distance, and last couple of efforts have been good in defeat. Lovely lightweight, £118. Bentley's on. I think there's plenty to like, Paul.
Yeah, I like him. I'll give him another chance. I've been with him the last few starts, and he hasn't had much luck. He just hasn't had the rub of the green. He's got barrier number 5. I mean, Harry Bentley rode him last start, so he does know the horse quite well. So let's hopefully he gets his opportunity. If he gets beaten fair and square, then go down a grade, and I think he'll win down in grade.
We saw Young Arrow come through our last run reminder replay just a few minutes ago, and so this was a big performance from him 28 days ago. Covered ground, never got close to the running rail from about the 600 or the 700 metres. It was a real tough win here. Paul, can he take that step up here, because he's not been able to run top 2 in this grade in the past?
No, he hasn't. This was his first foray into Class 4, and he won it. He was really well back this day. He came into 2.6, just managed to get beat My Day My Way, which we'll get a lead on earlier. I'd just like to see him in this grade.
Yeah, look, I think some of those thirds have not been the worst. Placed off 65. I mean, he was only a length off, or 3 parts off of Beauty Destiny, who obviously we don't see anymore, but he was up into the 90s rated in the end, wasn't he? So, and if you like My Day My Way, you can sort of like this horse if he wins earlier on in the card.
David Hall has Kairos Dragon engaged in this last event. He's first up for 119 days. He's a 2-time course and distance winner. Nickety, has been able to win fresh in the past.
He has, yeah, look, absolutely. So maybe this is the time to sort of catch him here. Obviously, he handles himself around this track well enough. My concern was that he was £8 higher than his last win, which, as you say, was first up. So there are pros and cons to him, I think, here. They've dropped him £1 to 74. I can envisage him running a decent race. I think he'll have to be at his best.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Zach rode him when he did win fresh up for the season. That was off a 68 rating, as you said. So he's a bit higher now at 74. He has run second off the 74 before, so he's not. He's been there, done that as such. So he is definitely a chance. What put me off a bit was the draw. He's got barrier number 10, so he's going to give some of these horses a start.
He's had a left fore ligament injury since racing last. Has that runner for David Hall, Kairos Dragon. Speaking of draws as well, Paul, Storming Dragon, barrier 12, Jamie Richards, Ben Thompson. He was the best of the rest behind Storm Rider last time out. Do you give him any hope from that draw this week?
Yeah, because look, he gets back in his running style anyway. We've seen him get back a couple of times, only on a minor line for him, because he's another one that's going to have to give some of these horses a start. But watching those races, you can see him finishing off quite strongly. You know, once he gets down to a good draw, that's when I've been really more interested on a win line. But I didn't want to completely rule him out, so I put him in for fourth.
He's consistent, and he'll give his running, but he does need to overcome a few things.
Yeah. He certainly does. And Sir Charge, I thought, was an interesting runner who's trolled up okay coming into this behind Lightness of Music, Nick, who was a terrific winner in the first race on Sunday.
Yeah, no, absolutely he was, and that was back, I think, early May, wasn't it? 9th of May, that trial, and yeah, look, he probably isn't without some sort of chance from a good draw.
Yeah, look, and David Eustace has had a fantastic season this season as well. So look, I think he's probably one for next season, Sir Charge, but you wouldn't be surprised to see him running on into a position towards the end of the race.
Okay, Paul, your selections for the lucky last, please.
We'll stick with Everstar, just with that lightweight to beat, who's likely to be the favourite and tough to beat, Storm Rider, Dragon 4 Seas and Storming Dragon. So a good race to finish off, 12, 1, 7 and 10.
A really good race to finish on here. Now, look, I'm going to stick with this old-timer, Power Kip. I think he can run well again. He's had 4 runs for Mark Noonan, and he's run second twice, and he's won a couple. Alexi Bedell knows him well. Storm Rider, he's up £10, but he'll give his running again, I feel, here. He goes in for second. Dragon 4 Seas will compete, and Young Arrow, I've got him in as well, now that he's got his head in front there. 3, 1, 7, 11.
Those are the selections for race number 9, and for all of the selections on each and every race at Happy Valley on Wednesday night, you can head to the audio and video section of the website. That is hkjc.com for a breakdown of each and every race. It's time for a breakdown, Paul, now of the best, the value and the play for Wednesday night.
Yeah, we're going to go with Fun Elite. Didn't get much luck down the straight 1,000 last time. He's dropped a grade. He now comes here to Happy Valley. You can see him in that run there. There was just not much room at all the way down. Zach Purton will jump aboard as well for Fun Elite. He's now into Class 4. He's drawn barrier 7. I think he can go forward from that draw and give himself every opportunity. Doesn't look like an overly strong race either, and as you can see, he was sort of just finishing off well there over the 1,000. Outgate, no pace in the race. I think he can lead. He's a really well-rated horse, and Catch Me If You Can, I think he'd be at good odds. It should be a good price, just a 3-time winner from his 28 starts. And we'll do the play in race number 4 with the Azure. Chain of Gold, another downgrader, and Amazing Award is in great form at the moment.
Best bet for me on Wednesday night, race 7, number 3, Wrote a New Page, who got the job done last time out. I think he's still a work in progress, this horse. See him just lug in a bit on the turn. This was on slightly softer conditions. He'll handle any, though. He's run really well on good to firm and good prior to this, but Harry Bentley was on board, and once he's gathered him up and grabbed a hold of him, he's run onto the line nicely. Forms, in fact, the runner-up has won since, so I think he's got a cracking chance there. And the value, race 8, number 5, Hammer On. He's only a couple of pounds higher than his last win. The play, race number 6 here, 3, 7 and 9, Lahore, Honest Witness, and Always My Folks.
Best bet for me, I thought it was a tricky night to try and single something out as a best, but I went to Amazing Award, race 4, number 5 for David Eustace. The value, race 6, number 2, Never Too Soon. He's well rated, wasn't the worst of runs last time out. David Hall, and the play, Capital Legend, Wrote a New Page, only up £3, and California Moxie race 7, 2, 3 and 7. That is just about the show for Wednesday night at Happy Valley. Let's have a look at the diary in terms of what we've got coming up. We've got Happy Valley Wednesday night, first event coming up at 6:40. Pierce Memorial Challenge Cup 11 on Saturday, and Tuesday, of course, coming up at Sha Tin for July 1. Thanks to Paul, thanks to Nick, and we look forward to your company Wednesday night, 6:40, race 1, Happy Valley.